Hello everyone and welcome to Manage Engine Applications Manager free training series. Thank you all for taking the time out and being here today. We're in the third part of our free training series where we'll be discussing about digital experience monitoring. In today's digital era, most enterprises use a web platform to reach potential customers and showcase the products and their solutions. Websites have become extremely popular as a medium of establishing brand image, and they contribute to make a major share of the revenue. Well-planned websites can capture the attention of the right target audience, increasing the probability of turning them into valuable paying customers. Whether you deliver a smooth user experience for your customers or not depends on the performance of your website. So, this is exactly what we're going to discuss today. Now, let us take a look at the agenda for today. First, we will be looking at how we can measure the website performance and changes in real time. Secondly, we will talk about how we can proactively identify and resolve potential user impacting issues through synthetic monitoring, followed by how you can analyze real user behavior patterns to gain insights into front end performance. Lastly, we will discuss how you can enhance web page performance to safeguard your brand reputation. Let us get started with the first topic, which is measuring website performance and changes in real time. According to an article published in browserstack.com, 47% of the customers expect a website to load in 2 seconds or less. 40% of people abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. Moreover, even a single second delay in a page response can result in 7% reduction in conversions. If a website is unavailable or has poor responsiveness, end users won't be able to engage with your website's pages or wouldn't want to wait for them to load, which can have a significant impact on your business reputation. Therefore, to ensure the effectiveness of your site, avoid any performance hiccups and create a seamless digital experience for users, website performance monitoring is essential. Not only does it provide insights into your website's availability, but it also gives you an understanding of critical metrics of your website so that you can work on improving its reliability and make it work optimally. Now, the first step in digital experience is the interaction that the user has with the website. So, when the user tries to access a particular website, it needs to be available. Website downtime and slowness are major causes of concern for businesses. Frequent downtime and slowness can make your site lose credibility among your loyal customers, as well as create a negative first impression on first time visitors. So, what causes websites to experience slowness and downtime? First, we have scheduled maintenance, which is a temporary period during a website or an app is made offline for updates, backups, or maintenance purposes. Then we have data center problems or server errors. If there is a data center problem or a server error, the request from the user may not even reach the server. Thirdly, there may be bugs in the code, which may cause errors and prevent site from loading or might cause slowness. Fourth, the website may be experiencing high traffic. If too many people are accessing the website at the same time, the website may not be able to handle the surge and the load. Fifth, there may be some hacking attempts made at the website. Hackers may try to pull suspicious activity on the websites, which can cause the site to go down or become slow. Lastly, in case your SSL certificate expires, that might cause issues among the users and they may not be able to trust the site anymore. To prevent problems like this, Applications Manager's URL monitoring can be helpful. Why URL monitoring? It helps you to ensure 24/7 availability. It acts as a continuous URL monitoring service that keeps a constant watch over your specific URL or a web page. It helps, it helps you verify the availability of specified addressable standard HTTP and HTTPS URLs. It helps you get instant notifications whenever your site is down. If there is a performance anomaly that the tool has noticed, you can recheck the website status to identify and eliminate false positives. You can also validate the HTTP requests and track website response time along with the split ups such as DNS time, connection time, first byte time, and last byte time. The response time of a website determines the speed of the website. If the response time is slow, it takes longer for your website to connect and send data package to the browser of an end user. A website without latency can have good impression on customers and can also help lower the bounce rates also. With URL monitoring, you'll be able to understand your website's first response time along with its last byte time, DNS time, connection time, and so on. This will be a strong indicator of how your website is performing with respect to the particular end user. You'll be able to diagnose the root cause of issues. You'll also be able to perform detailed content checks to ensure the availability of URLs. Now let's see how a URL monitor works inside of Applications Manager. So to configure a URL monitor, you'll need to go to the home page of Applications Manager, click on New Monitor, and click on Add New Monitor. And once you're in, out of all the over 150 technologies that Applications Manager offers you to monitor, you will find URL Monitor under Web Server or Services. Once you click on it, you'll be directed to this page where you can find HTTPS URL Monitor right here. And once you click on it, it will redirect you to this page where you can add the monitor. You'll have to specify a display name, the URL address, the polling interval, which was preset to 5 minutes. You can change it according to your preference, and then the timeout time, which is preset to 120 seconds. You can change it according to your preference. And if you want any advanced web monitors like SSL certificate monitor, TLS certificate monitor, DNS monitor, and brand reputation monitor, you can add them here. And you can check the HTTP configurations here. You can assign a protocol according to your preference. If you are selecting a form submission method of GET or POST, you will need to specify the payload type. And if you have any request parameters, you can specify them here. Also, when coming to basic or NTLM authentication, if you need them, you can manually add some credentials, or if you have pre-existing credentials, you can select it from here. Or if you want to configure an SAML or ADFS authentication, you can click here and go to Add New SAML Authenticator. It will ask you for a display name, redirect URL, form submission method, custom HTTP headers if any, and you'll need to select the SSL version. And if you want any form redirect, you can click on this and go on with it. And you can also configure your ADFS details here. So once you're done with it, you click on save and then come back to the screen to allot a content check if you need any. Once you allot the content check, you're ready to go, and you can assign your monitor to an existing monitor group, or you can create a new monitoring group for your URL monitors. Once you add the URL monitor, you will be able to find your URL monitor under monitors here. Once you click on the monitors tab, you can find your URL monitor under the web server or services. As you can see, we have already pre-configured the monitors here. If you go in, you'll be able to understand the availability of the given URL, the current status, and its uptime. You can also configure alarms if it goes down at any time. And you can also see the attributes right here. You can get the average response time over a time period, the current response time of the web page, the DNS time, connection time, first byte time, and last byte time. Also, you can view the page size for the last 1 hour here, and if it has changed in the table right here. Also, you can perform multiple monitor actions like editing the monitor, deleting the monitor. You can also unmanage and remanage a monitor. And you can assign an alarm template right here. And if you want to know the current state of the URL, you can click on poll now and it will poll for you. And you can also associate alarms with this. Once you click on configure alarms for a particular attribute, you will be redirected to this page where you can assign threshold profiles, whether it is a normal threshold profile or if you want an adaptive threshold profile to be assigned to this particular attribute, you can select a profile name and it will ask you to specify attribute level configurations. Like we have three levels of severity, which is clear severity, which means your attribute is performing fine, and then there is warning severity, which means it needs action, and then there is critical severity, which means if you ignore it, it is going to cost you downtime. So this is how the URL monitor works inside Applications Manager, and If you want to generate reports for each attribute, you can click here and view the data for last 7 days or 30 days. Once you click on it, you'll be redirected to this report page. And if you want to export it to a PDF or a CSV file to share it among your teams, you can select the attribute and you can select the particular business however you want it for and export it as you want. So that is about URL Monitor inside Applications Manager. Now let's move on to the second topic of the day, which is proactively identifying and resolving potential user impacting issues using synthetic monitoring. In today's age of instant gratification, end users expect a seamless, issue-free experience on your website. Although monitoring the website availability and response time will give you a fair idea of whether your website is up and running or not, you cannot know if the users are being able to perform critical transactions without any failures unless you understand the website's end user experience. This is exactly where synthetic monitoring helps. So here are a few things that synthetic monitoring will help you with. First and foremost, it will help you analyze the website performance from an end user perspective, which would also help you identify issues that might otherwise go unnoticed. It helps you test the performance of critical user paths by recording complex workflows to keep an eye on important transactions that are taking place on your website. You can dynamically track website availability and performance of your website from your end user's location. Lastly, it will also help you to ensure that the website is meeting your business objectives, and it will provide a complete line of sight on your SLAs. Now let's see how Applications Manager's Real Browser Monitoring facilitates synthetic transaction monitoring. Applications Manager's Synthetic Transaction Monitoring feature, also known as the Real Browser Monitor, opens up an actual browser like Firefox or Chrome from multiple geographical locations. It tracks how the elements in a website load from a particular location and, more specifically, the way your users view them. So this will help you simulate business critical processes via Selenium-based scripting of tests. So the first step basically involves a web transaction recorder in which you'll have to record the critical transactions. Every action that we perform will be recorded, be it hovering, clicking on a particular element, all of these will be seen on a Selenium-based scripting file. Then it runs checks from real browsers such as Chrome or Firefox. So Applications Manager opens up a real browser in which it plays a recorded transaction again and again to identify in case any error is occurring or not. During the playback, data collection takes place and all performance metrics are then published on your monitoring dashboard. It also lets to take screenshots during the playback in case of any errors. The main advantage of synthetic transaction monitoring is that you can test your website from multiple geolocations, be it enterprise branch offices or actual customer locations. To facilitate monitoring from multiple branch locations, we make use of the end user monitoring agents. So this is how the end user monitoring agent works. Say, for example, you're hosting an event in your office and created a registration form for the same. All the employees need to register for this event, which means employees from all your branches should be able to do so without any hassles. To test this critical workflow of filling out the form and successfully registering for the event, you can use Applications Manager's Real Browser Monitor. For that, you will need to install the EUM agent in all your branch offices. Then you can record the transaction of filling and registration from your main office. The same transaction will then be performed in all your branch offices using this EUM agent, and then all the data will be sent to Applications Manager. This way, you can check if this particular workflow functions without any errors in all the desired locations. Applications Manager's end user monitoring agent provides greater visibility into user experience and helps detect potential performance issues with ease. These agents can be installed in multiple branch offices in different cities or in different systems of your end users. All you need is a secured HTTP connection between the agent and your Applications Manager server. Now let us see how RBM functions inside of Applications Manager. To configure real browser monitor inside your applications manager, you'll need to download the web transaction recorder and install it as an extension on your browser. And then you'll need to download and install the end user monitoring agent from, from this page based on your build version and operating system. Once you download it, you'll need to fetch the API key from your applications manager console. And this is how you do it. You go to settings, go to integration with portals, which is right here, click on REST API, and then you'll be able to see multiple keys here. As you can see, we have applications manager API key, end user monitoring, RUM, and heartbeat monitors API keys. So you copy the EUM key from here and inject it in your downloaded EUM agent console. And then you get started on configuring an RBM in your applications manager console. To start with it, you need to click on the new monitor, go to add monitor. You will find the real browser monitoring monitor under web server or services. Once you click on it, you'll be redirected to this page where you can find real browser monitoring right here. Once you're here, it will ask you for a website URL. And once you give the website URL, you need to specify the device type, whether it is a desktop, tab, or a mobile. And once you start recording, it will record all your transactions. And then on the top right of your console, there will be a stop recording sign. And once you're done with all your transactions, you can click on the stop recording sign, and then you can configure the monitor, giving it a name and specifying it with a monitoring group. Once you're done with it, you can find your real browser monitor under your monitors here. As you can see, we have already pre-configured the monitors here. Once we go into the view of the monitor, you can see the health and availability of your particular URL, the availability timeline for the last 6 hours, and the performance history. And you can see average page load time, transaction time, availability, health, and if the alarms are active. Also, you can see the page load time for each step by location here. So as you can see, we have average page load time, transaction time, page load time based on steps right here. For each step, you have a page load time and the health of each transaction. You can also get snapshots from your given URL. So this is how real browser monitoring works inside of Applications Manager. Let's move on to the use cases for synthetic transaction monitoring. So what are some scenarios where your business might benefit from synthetic transaction monitoring? First, you can use it to compare your website's performance with your competitors. By setting up benchmarks, you can also track how your applications perform over time and compare your company's performance to top competitors with a specific historical time frame or geographical region. This approach helps you develop a strategic outlook and maintain a competitive edge in the marketplace. Next, with the help of the synthetic monitoring, you can test new features. Since testing is crucial during the early stages of application development, synthetic monitoring provides baselines and thresholds that help you identify potential obstacles in real time. Further, you can assess the performance of third-party applications. Today's websites are increasingly relying on third-party features like customer reviews, web analytics, social networking, SEO add-ons, and video content. If any of these elements fail, it can negatively impact your site. Synthetic transaction monitoring helps you keep track of these third-party applications, alerting you to any performance degradation or downtime issues. This is essential for managing service level agreements, and holding third party vendors accountable. By monitoring the steps involved in transactions and by the page load times for each step, you can evaluate the performance of third party applications. If a certain element's transaction time is slower than usual, you can confirm the third party application may be underperforming. Lastly, synthetic monitoring also provides direct feedback on performance issues, allowing your team to identify the root cause, engage the right experts, and resolve the problems before they impact users. Now let's move on to the third topic for the day, which is analyzing real user behavioral patterns to gain insight into front-end performance. First of all, what is real user monitoring? Real user monitoring refers to capturing user interactions with the website in real time. This helps you analyze how your end users perceive your website. As businesses go digital and global, their websites are accessed from various devices and multiple locations in real time. It is important to provide a consistent user experience across all geographies and devices, but in reality, the user experience could be impacted by various external factors. This could include network latency, operational hiccups, trouble retrieving requests, resources, slow ISPs, and more. Also, what works in one browser may not work in the other. This is exactly where the real user monitoring comes in handy. It helps you see why a particular website is down in a particular region and will help you identify whether you have overlooked any issues with your page load times. It will find out where exactly your issue is and will help you understand why the user is abandoned in the first place. All this information will help you optimize your website for the future. So, exactly how does RUM work in Applications Manager? To facilitate data collection and reporting, you need to download and install our Real User Monitoring Agent or RUM agent. The RUM agent is deployed on the server where the web application is hosted. Following that, you'll need to insert a small JavaScript snippet generated by Applications Manager on the header or footer part of the HTML code of the website that you want to track. If you wish to monitor the web application, you will need to insert the code in the common or index page of your web application and then start monitoring. Upon loading, the JavaScript snippet will act as a code that collects performance data and constantly transmits it to the RUM agent. The agent communicates this between the JavaScript code and application manager's web client data, which depicts the captured data. With Real User Monitoring and Applications Manager, you'll be able to understand the front-end performance across several geolocations. You'll also be able to analyze the front-end performance based on ISPs, browsers, devices, and more to ensure hassle-free digital experience. You'll be able to measure end-user satisfaction, and you'll be able to isolate web transactions that contribute to poor user experience of applications. You can gain comprehensive insights into domain resources and user sessions. Additionally, you will be able to identify JavaScript errors instantly, which will prevent users from reporting service errors. Finally, you'll also be able to analyze and compare the impact of any new changes that have taken place in your web application. Now let's see how you work with RUM inside Applications Manager. To start with Real User Monitoring in Applications Manager, you'll need to download the RUM agent. From this website right here. And you should download the agent based on your build and operating system. Once you download it, you'll need to go to Applications Manager's settings, REST API, and get the API key as we did for end user monitoring. And when you get the API key, you inject it into your RUM agent, you just download it. And then once you're done with this, you need to go to New Monitor, click on Add New Monitor, and you'll find Real User Monitor right under Web Server or Services right here. Once you click on it, you'll be redirected to this page, your application or website URL. And then you'll need to choose a name for the monitor. Specify an AppDex score threshold, which is basically a score to make you understand how the users are feeling, if they are satisfied, tolerating, or if they are frustrated. And once you're done with this, you need to associate the monitor instance with the downloaded RUM agent. I have a pre-configured RUM agent right here, and then I click on next. And once you're done with agent configuration, you'll be asked to provide a monitor. Be asked to select the kind of application. And once you select the kind of application right here, it will give you a JavaScript snippet, which you'll have to copy and paste in your application or web page index, footer, or header. And then once you click on complete, you can wait for live user insights. As we have just added this monitor, we won't be able to view the performance until quite a few minutes. As you can see, you can find our configured real user monitors right here under web server or services. Now, if we see how it is inside the performance tab, you can see the availability and performance history for the last 6 hours. And if you go to the summary tab, you will be able to view the APDEX score, the average response time of your application, the page views, and the error count. You can also get a summary report with a world map view, where you can select a particular region and understand the user performance. And you can also get a split up of response time, where you can find a split of redirection time, DNS time, connection time, server time, first byte time, page rendering time, document rendering time, and overall response time. This split up helps you identify any anomalies or response time peaks, which will help you identify page slowdowns and irresponsive resources immediately. You can also see the page views and throughput right here. And if you want to generate a report of this particular attribute, you can click on this right here and you'll be able to export it into a PDF or CSV file based on your selected business hours. And if you go to geographic, you'll be able to understand overall geolocation performance of your particular web page. And moving on to ISP, you can get a split up of your page performance based on the internet service provided right here. As you can see, there is performance data for each ISP all over the world. You can see VPN, CAT, AMPL, VSNL, Asianet, and more. It will give you average response time with respect to the ISP and the total count of sessions and the throughput for each ISP. Forwarding, we have browser split, where you can understand the performance of your web page on Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and Firefox iOS browsers. You can also see the usage split up right here, which will make you understand how each browser is using your resources. And you can also get average response time, total count of sessions, and throughput per browser in this view. And then you have device type split up, where you can understand how your page is performing in each device based on its OS, namely iOS, Mac OS, Ubuntu, and Windows. You can also see the usage split up, where you can understand how each device is using up resources. You can also understand viewports, the type of connection, and the device memory. And it will also give you average response time, total count, and throughput per device. And then we have web page view. For each transaction you can undergo inside your particular website or application, you will You will be able to get the response time of each, total count of sessions that are running on each, the throughput, and the size of each page or a transaction. And then we have user sessions, which will help you understand the number of users that are accessing your application or website, total number of sessions that are active, and the average viewing time of your website, and the average pages navigated from or to your website. You can also find the transactions here. Each transaction, the country which it was initiated from, the device which it was initiated from, the browser it is accessed from, the number of pages navigated to and from, and the viewing time. This will help you understand the user range of your application. And then we move to resources, where you can understand how each resource is being used, the size of the resource that is being used, and how it is responding, and the total count of requests that it is serving. You can see first party resource split up, third party resource split up, CDN resources, and more. And then we have Ajax calls, which will help you understand each transaction and its properties, like average response time, total count of sessions, the throughput, average resource size, and the types of errors that are running on this particular transaction, namely 1xx, 2xx, 3xx, 4xx, and 5xx. And when you come to JavaScript errors, you will be able to find the number of errors, the pages that are carrying the errors, the files that are being erratic, and the users that are being affected by these errors. For now, our web page seems free of errors. So this is how real user monitoring is used inside Applications Manager. To understand why RUM is essential, we must understand the drawbacks of synthetic transaction monitoring. Synthetic transaction monitoring does not always align with reality. Since the nature of traffic used for synthetic monitoring is not organic but synthetic, it isn't truly representative of a real user experience at any given time. Its outcome and performance are rather predictable because synthetic monitoring uses simulated actions. It does not predict the actions of real life customers. Secondly, it consumes a lot of time for incident resolution. When you receive complaints from real users in real time, synthetic monitoring will not tell about what exactly the issue is, and you would have to painstakingly analyze the performance of every business critical transaction, create scripts for synthetic testing, and uncover possible issues. This can be extremely time consuming. And thirdly, you'll only be able to achieve a narrow view of performance. Since you are not monitoring the actual users, you are not really getting an idea of how your website is used in the real world. All you have is a simple, narrow view of your website performance. Now that we have understood synthetic transaction monitoring as well as real user monitoring, now let us see how they complement each other and provide great benefits when employed on your websites. First, they help correlate business with performance. Synthetic monitoring can provide performance data that will enable you to pinpoint problems with page load time or network bottlenecks. However, if you want to analyze how website performance impacts business revenue, then you need more than synthetic transaction metrics. Since REM is generated through real user traffic, it provides essential insights into real business metrics such as conversion rates and more, which can then be correlated with performance issues via synthetic testing. Secondly, you will be able to identify problems even before the active users arrive. No matter where your applications are hosted, problems are bound to occur. Synthetic monitoring is the most effective solution to identify a configuration problem caused by off-hours maintenance changes so that it can be fixed before end users begin using your application in the morning hours. On the other hand, REM will application responsiveness for each and every file user during the peak hours. Thirdly, it will help you to troubleshoot performance data, and it combines synthetic and RUM to make troubleshooting quicker and easier. When synthetic tests fail to trigger a particular alert, data gathered from RUM will show you the real time impact of end user experience. Similarly, if real user monitoring data reveals a performance anomaly, then you can use synthetic data to replicate the issue by exercising the same across the number of ISPs and geolocations you have. Collecting data in this particular way will allow you to triangulate from various vantage points to identify the root cause that may lie in the data part between the end users and their application services. RUM and synthetic data can be used simultaneously to verify and deep dive into the performance issues. Also, if you want a hands on personalized demo for free with our experts, you can answer yes to the poll that pops up on our screen right now. Well, many application teams tell us this. Application metrics look fine, yet users report slowness or poor experience. Why does this happen? That is exactly what we'll address in our upcoming digital experience monitoring webinar, where we'll show how DM complements application monitoring by adding real user visibility and proactive experience insights. As a Gartner recognized vendor, this session highlights the best practices followed by high performing application and IT operation teams. If you want to understand how application performance translates into real user experience and business impact, you can register using the link in the chat panel or respond with yes to the poll that pops up on your screen right now. Now we move on to the final part of today's session, enhancing web page performance to safeguard your brand's reputation. If we have to talk about web page analyze in a crux, it provides insight into various key metrics that will help you effectively manage web pages. During each poll, Applications Manager loads a web page in the browser in a cache-less state, and it captures the real-time data of various performance metrics of your web page. So with the help of Web Page Analyzer, you'll be able to track the response time and domain summary. You'll be able to gain page speed scores and suggestions. You'll be able to perform request tracking with the waterfall chart, which displays and tracks various components that render while loading the web page. This waterfall chart will give you a visual representation of the critical metrics related to each of the transactions, which will help you identify the components that are loading slowly. This way, you can prevent the website downtime and slowness and help the website to perform optimally. You'll also be able to manage the SSL certificate of your web page. So let us see how Web Page Analyzer is used with Applications Manager. To start with Web Page Analyzer, you'll have to download the Web Page Analyzer plugin for Applications Manager. So you should download the plugin based on your build and your operating system from here. And once you download it, you'll have to place it in Applications Manager home or working folder. Now, to add a web page analyzer, you go to New Monitor, click on Add New Monitor, go to Web Server or Services, and find Web Page Analyzer right here. Once you click on it, it will redirect you to this page where you can bulk import monitors or manually add monitors here. You can give a display name, give the web page URL which you want to monitor, specify page load timeout, and wait after load, and specify HTTP method, whether if it is a post method or a get method, and then specify any custom HTTPS headers. And if you want to give credentials, give a username and password for this monitor. And if you want to block any domains, you can specify them here. If you want to add a content check, you can check this box and add it. And if you want to enable SSL TLS certificate monitoring, you can enable it here and proceed with it. And once you're done with this, give a polling interval which you want to poll your monitor for, and then test the credential. Once it passes the test, you associate it with a monitor group. If it is a pre-existing monitor group, you select it here, or if you want to create a new monitoring group, For all your web page analyzer monitors, you can create a new monitor group and associate with it. And once you're done, you will be able to see it right here under web server or services. Once you click on it, you'll be able to see the overview, which will give you the availability and performance history for the last 6 hours and the response time summary, which includes DNS time, connection time, first byte time, last byte time, start render, document complete, and page load time. Start render is the time taken for the first change to be visible on the web page, and the document complete is the time taken for all of the resources in the page to download completely. Now let us see how extensively we can monitor the URLs here. If you go to network log, you'll be able to see a waterfall chart here, which gives you each resource, transaction, its status code, its size in kilobytes, the content type that is being used in the particular web page or transaction, and the specific metrics like start time, redirection time, lookup time, connection time, secure connection time, and network latency for each of the transactions right here. With this, you will be able to understand how your web pages are performing and identify anomalies efficiently. So this is the waterfall chart, and it helps you understand each resource and transaction with given metrics. And then we have resource details where you can understand what resources are being used, what size does each kind of resource possess, and the resource count, how many of the resources are occupying how much of the space. And then you have a request summary right here, the number of requests for each resource, and the size of the request, and the health of each resource that is contributing to the request. And you can also find some snapshots of your specific URL right here. Moving on, we have page speed insights, which is a very critical monitoring insight into your web page performance. It gives you a score and grade based on the performance of your web page, namely ABCD, and scores from 1 to 100. So if you have a score which is significantly less, you can click on the specific rule and see what elements are not performing properly. You can take these suggestions and implement these on your web page to improve the performance of your web page. So this is how a web page analyzer helps you understand and improve the performance of your web page. Moving on, we have brand reputation monitoring. As the title suggests, this helps you maintain the reputation of a particular website. This monitor will track and ensure that your brand reputation is maintained by preventing your website from being blacklisted. You will get insights whether the website is identified as a suspected malware, phishing, or deceptive, or as an unwanted software. You will get immediately notified if any of your web pages are marked unsafe. So let us see how brand reputation monitor works. To start with a brand reputation monitor, you have to click on new monitor and then add new monitor and go to web server or services. You will find brand reputation monitoring right here. And once you click on it, you will be asked to specify a display name for a monitor, and then you have to give the web page URL. You can either give a website and click on discover web pages, or specify a particular web page and check the connectivity if the site is being connectable or not. And once you're done with it, you can associate it with a monitor group or create a new monitor group for all your brand reputation monitors. To access your brand reputation monitor, you'll have to go to monitors, and you can find it under web server or services right here. As you can see, the brand reputation monitor gives you the health and availability of your specific web page or site, and it will also give you the malware count, the phishing or deceptive count, and unwanted software count, which are basically if there are any malware or deceptive elements on your particular web page or if there is any unwanted software pop-up or element that is inside your web page. So this helps you identify the number of suspicious elements or softwares that are present on your web pages, and if there is any hack or phishing activity that is going in on your website. As you can see, for now, the web page we were monitoring is not suspected as malware. It is safe. It is not suspected as phishing or deceptive. It is safe. And it is not suspected as an unwanted software as well. You can assign alarm for the same. And if you find anything suspectable, you can configure alarm and can get notified on anything. And then we have WebSocket Monitor. It is no news that WebSockets have become a crucial technology for delivering live data and interactive experiences in modern applications. Applications Manager helps you monitor WebSocket connections for availability, performance, and message integrity. This helps you ensure high availability, low latency, and seamless user experiences across your WebSocket enabled services. With Applications Manager's WebSocket Monitor, you can gain a comprehensive view of your WebSocket health, validate WebSocket message content, get notified instantly when issues like handshake timeouts, connection delays, or content mismatches occur, and track handshake durations during uh, response times and message content to understand where issues occur. Let's see how we work with WebSocket monitoring. To start with it, you click on New Monitor, Add New Monitor, Web Server or Services, and you will be able to find WebSocket Monitor right here. And once you click on it, it will ask you to specify a display name and give the WebSocket URL right here. Timeout time, which is preset to 15 seconds and which you can change on your preference. And you can either manually enter the credential details or you can fetch them from a pre-existing credential manager, or you can specify an OAuth token or a web token right here. And if you have any custom HTTPS headers, you can specify them right here. And if you have a payload, you can specify it right here. And you can also add a content check for response. And once you're done with it, you test the credentials. And if the test passes, you associate it with a monitor group or create a new monitor group for all your WebSockets. And once you're done with this, you'll be able to find your WebSocket monitor right under Web Server or Services. So as you can see, the WebSocket monitor provides you availability and performance history for the last 6 hours, the response time details, which is a split up of response time, connection time, SSL TLS handshake time, WebSocket handshake time, and more. And you can also generate a report for these metrics and assign an alarm as well. So this is how you monitor WebSockets inside Applications Manager. And we have SSL certificate monitoring as the last topic. Monitoring SSL certificates is very important to maintain secure, continuous, and trusted communications between clients and servers. It goes beyond simply tracking expiration dates. It plays a vital role in ensuring security, performance, availability, and compliance. All of these will help you secure user confidence. So, proactive monitoring helps prevent unexpected outages, safeguard sensitive data, and ensure smooth and encrypted communication at all times. Applications Manager's SSL certificate monitoring, you will be able to effectively monitoring key components like chain summary, certificate details, complete certificate chain, cipher information, which provides you comprehensive visibility into SSL health and configuration. Now let's see how we do SSL certificate monitoring inside Applications Manager. To start with SSL certificate monitoring, you click on Add New Monitor, Web Server or Services, and SSL certificate monitoring is right here. And once you click on it, you'll be asked to specify a display name for the monitor, the domain and port details, and you can select the protocol, the kind of SSL protocol. And then if check this box if you need to provide proxy to connect to the domain. And if you want to ignore the certificate name mismatch error, you can check this box. which is not advised for critical security. And if you want to ignore invalid root and intermediate certificate, you can check this box. You can perform trust validation by checking this box, and you can also check for blacklisted certificates by checking this box. And if you want to ignore self-signed certificates, you can check this box, which was also not advised for security purposes. You can specify the timeout time here and the polling interval right here, which was preset to 30 minutes. Once you test the credential and it passes the test, you'll be able to assign the given monitor to a monitor group. Or if you want to create a new monitor group for all your SSL TLS certificates, you can create a new monitor group and associate it with this monitor. And once you're done with this, you'll be able to find your monitor right under web server or services right here. As you can see, it starts with resource details, the availability of your SSL certificate, the performance history, and certificate details like certificate order, common name, and the organization that has issued the certificate, the number of days that are there to be that are there before the certificate expiry, the status of expiry, the health of the certificate, and more. You can also see the signature algorithms here, and you can also see the SHA fingerprints for more security. And then we have cipher details where you can see the grade, the trust checks, and if there are any blacklisted certificates. And if you can also find the vulnerability status of your certificates here. And you can also secure cryptographic components like IDs and all, if there is forward secrecy, AEAD, CHA. And you can also view the protocols and ciphers right here, the protocol version, the key size of each protocol, and the cipher status of each certificate. So this is how we do SSL certificate monitoring inside Applications Manager. And with that, we go on a quick recap of all the sessions we have underwent. And in the first part, as we see, we have discussed how to monitor individual URLs to improve user experience. Next, we have explored how to analyze the critical workflow issues using synthetic monitoring. In the third segment, we saw how synthetic transaction monitoring can provide insights beyond the app-only view. In the fourth part, we have covered how to understand real-time experiences with a real user monitor and concluded by discussing how to optimize web pages using a web page analyzer and a brand reputation monitor. Thank you for tuning into today's session. You have been a great audience. Have a nice day.